What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Comment Writers. I'm your host, Josh Meek, the Uber Geek. Joined as always by my good friend Toby Tobes. How's it going, Toby?
Josh, not so good. I think old age has finally struck.
Yeah, I mean, it struck a long time ago for you. You're an old
No,
man.
I'm an old man. But so the other day, I was walking up and down the stairs, a very rigorous activity, some might say.
Oh, I know.
I was outside shoveling or something before that point. I was, I think, taking down a Christmas tree, of the living variety, because I was staying up in the house real late. And I felt like something stabbed me in the back of my calf, like almost like a needle stab.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, "Ow, that fucking hurt." And I looked at my leg. There was no real mark. Didn't see anything there. And I was like, that was really freaking weird. But it stabbed and shot at my leg. And once a day now, or once every other day at random sporadic times, I feel like it feels like I get stabbed in the back of my leg again, to the point where I was grocery shopping earlier and I couldn't put weight on my leg. So I had to hold myself up with a shopping cart and try to hobble around Walmart to get bird food for the goddamn birds here.
Cool.
And I don't know what it is. And it seems like as you know, the medical system here is very expensive. So I don't want to go to the doctor and have him be like, "Oh, it's nothing. You pulled something or something weird happened." But in my mind, I feel like I'm going to lose a leg as well.
Yeah, I think the leg's definitely a goner. You might as well start saying goodbye for sure.
Because at first I was like, did a spider bite me? So I keep looking for either a spider bite or my leg turning black. And neither of those things have happened. So I feel like I'm still safe from that part for now.
I don't want to, those are good checks. I think the likelihood that you have a spider bite, which is hurting you periodically over the course of multiple days, is probably pretty unlikely. But
That's what I thought too.
It's a good checks.
And
Good checks.
in my logic brain, that all made sense. And then it's just crazy that it shoots all the way up. It's basically from my calf to the top of my thigh, my whole leg. And I sit there and go I don't know any better. I don't know medical things. I sure as shit don't know how bodies work. And in my brain, I'm like, did I rip something in my leg? And I think about it, and I'm like, if I actually rip something, if I my lack of muscle exploded and fragmented everywhere,
Yeah,
I'd probably be in more pain than every once in a while too.
I like that
feel
I like that you're shopping for bird food in Walmart, and you're thinking I'm kind of like Cody Rhodes. I bet I ripped it straight off the bone, and I'm just still going through my day to day life. Me and Cody are the same.
when I got to Walmart today, I was already that was the second stop. The first was the grocery shopping, and the question was posed to me: "Are you sure you even want to go into Walmart?" And I grimaced, and I was like, "The birds need food. I'm already here."
Oh my god, you're a
So
hero.
I literally hobbled my ass across the parking lot to get to a shopping cart to hold myself up on, to do the weirdest awkward old man wobble down the aisles ever. But
honey, the birds need me.
they do. It's cold out. It's snowy. They haven't had any suet for 2 or 3 days now. They need fat in the winter. The birds need me right now. So I also
So you
almost
powered
spent more
through.
on bird food than I did for grocery shopping. I don't know if that's a speech on I shopped very thriftily for my food, or I buy too much stuff for the birds.
Yeah, you could take that in either direction, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna say I do good
That's.
thrifty shopping for my food, and then the birds can fly
I
because
think
I crawled or something like that.
I think the birds are eating better than House Toby over there. That's what I think. I think those
as it
birds
should be.
are living high on the hog.
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know,
Well, yeah, that's too bad.
I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So maybe someday I'll report back with my leg fell off. But for anyone that doesn't know, I'm super into naturey things. I stay at that farm all the time. I basically live in the woods. So the birds are my best friends, and I feed them all the time. We have bonding moments. And now, Josh, as of last week, a fox lives on the front porch or in front of the house,
Yeah,
and that's the hypest thing ever.
I saw that. So that's a recurring thing. I wasn't just a one day thing.
He's been here 4 or 5 days. Uh,
Nice.
I think they're cool because it's basically like a dog. He's obviously foxes are wild dogs, and Geets was also a fox. So I kind of feel
Yep.
extra blessed recently that Geets comes to swing by. But I also laugh and get excited because the fox will roll around on the front doorstep, on the mat, because he wants to get scratched and itches. So I just think it's adorable. So I have a trail cam set up for him where I leave him meals on a rock, and I moved his little doormat over to where his bed is, so he stays away from my actual dog who gets mad that he comes.
That's awesome.
So I'm
Uh,
running a farm over here, basically.
Maybe every time the fox shows up, it signals the beginning of a new Desire Grand Prix, but you're just a regular person, so you don't actually know that it's restarting every time. You're
Wouldn't that
just
be
like going
disappointing?
about your life. Yeah, to find out that you're an NPC, yeah, that would be.
It's like the opposite of main character syndrome, where like I see the fox come by again, and I'm like just like tertiary enough where I'm like, oh, my buddies the riders are out doing things again. That's cool. But just like my life is still like the boring shit of like, oh, I turned on the computer and went to work today. Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. Yeah, if I was in a Grand Theft Auto, I'd be the, like, "I'm walking here" guy who gets run over by the car, and then you never think about him again. That'd be me. I would definitely be the, I'm on a loop, and I just walk around this building over and over again and never deviate from it.
As animes have gotten into like the weird like there's a gap in like the early O's where emo songs or like pop punk songs were like 20-word titles.
Mhm.
And animes I feel like have gotten more into that recently over the past couple years, or at
Very
least
much.
I notice it more and it's funnier to me. But this whole speech has made me think of like the perfect like one of those good anime names would be like, "Help! I'm an NPC in my own life, and all I'm doing is going through my my loop cycle," or something like that.
Yeah. Am I an NPC in my own life going through my own loop cycle, or is this just weird depression? Please help. Episode
There
1.
you go.
Uh, Joey, speaking of being old and being old men and our bodies just falling apart, I don't think I mentioned when it snowed this past time and we had to do some snow removal. I don't think I mentioned specifically, but my wife was forbidding me from shoveling snow because I guess it's like a really common thing for like people who aren't like super active like me, people who have like desk jobs, go out and shovel snow, and it's because it's like lifting your arms over your head repeatedly. That's like this novel movement, and people have heart attacks. I guess like a ton of people have heart attacks shoveling snow every year because of that, because of the motion that you do. And she was like, "Yeah, I don't want you out there doing that." I'm like, I am can't shovel snow old now." Like that's what we're doing here.
That's what I always think about too, where I always want to get a snowblower, and then I think about it because a bunch of my neighbors have one, and they're older, like they're actually older than me. And whenever it snows, I look at them and I go, "No, I'm not ready for this yet."
I'm not
So
that person yet.
I'll still stubbornly go out and like hand shovel because I think it's good. I mean, I know it's good exercise because I'm
Tired
uh,
afterwards.
very sedimentary lifestyled, usually over winter, don't do a bunch.
Yep,
So I'm
same.
like, I would so we like last time we snowed here too, like last Sunday, there was a big East Coast USA snowstorm again. And we got like 6 or 7 inches, I think. So I learned once if I let all 7 inches go first and I shovel, I'm definitely throwing my back out. So my new plan is I basically go out and on a pretty steady like rotation, constant loop, whatever, of like, okay, I'm gonna go clean up again. Because even if I go outside 10 times today, doing like a half of an inch 10 times is easier than doing 10 inches one time kind of deal.
That's true.
So I would go out, I shovel for 10 minutes, I get my little bit of exercise. I look across the street and watch everyone else's freaking snow piles filling up. And I'm like, I know what you guys are going to do later, but I'm out here on the mean streets. And I get all proud of myself. I do my little exercise. And I said, when I finish, I'm like, all right, I still, I'm still here, no heart attack. Definitely seeing some spots from staring at the snow and it's sunny out, but
uh you're out there feeling smug about it. Look at me, I'm doing it.
yeah.
I'm out here doing it. And you guys are in the warm confines of your home. You're not here on the streets like me, Toby from the streets.
But yeah, I always feel better about myself getting my exercise in that way, just because it's something to do. It's outside, some fresh air.
If one
That
of
makes
us
me feel good. And
It
now,
does feel good, yeah. If one of us does have a heart attack shoveling snow, we can say that there's that song about us by the Wonder Years, where where he says heart attack shoveling snow. I'm like, yeah, that's about Josh. That's about Toby. So that's what I'll tell people.
that's a good one. Take to the grave. I'll take that to
Yeah.
the grave.
Like that Fall Out Boy song. Toby, I think it's time we need to tell people some very important information. Hopefully, everyone really perks their ears up here because I want to let everyone know that we have a Patreon, patreon.com/slash the
Whoa!
comment writers. You can sign up. You get access to our Discord, where you can talk to us all week long, and you get access to our bonus content, Toby. But bonus. And
I
we put
love
out
bonuses.
bonuses are great. Bonuses are awesome. You know why they're good? Because they're more. They're extra. They're what you get on top of other good stuff. You can get extra content from us. We are watching Boon Boomjer right now, which is about to finish up, and we are watching Common Writer O's. You get to watch along with us. You get to watch the shows. It's kind of like Mystery Science Theater, but for tokusatsu. Super fun. If you sign up now, it's $3 a month, and you can sign up for 1 month, Toby. You can binge everything we've ever posted. It'll take about a whole weekend. Then you can cancel, and we're good. You know what? Tidy up. We're fine. $3. That's all we need. You can have a whole
Come back in
weekend
6
full of
months, you know,
fun.
you get everyone
Exactly.
loves weekends full of fun for only $3. That's like
And I'm
that
happy to
the business
provide that for you.
proposition.
Exactly. So patreon.com/slash the comment writers is where you can find that. Toby, I think it's time for us to
Whoa,
talk.
whoa, whoa!
What?
What about the other fun stuff you get while you're over there?
You get nothing else fun. There's no other fun that could to be had.
But what about the fact that we now have our very own Minecraft server, Josh?
We do have our very own Minecraft server, Toby.
The way you just said that, you're like they just like re-click or like
No, I was trying to do the salesman thing, but
okay.
apparently I was too convincing. I was trying to do the thing where I am the unknowing consumer and you're selling me on this Minecraft server. What can I do in the Minecraft server, Toby?
You can do whatever you want. That's only limited by your imagination.
Wow.
Or if that thing that you want to do is kill other players on the server because that's turned off. Grief is
I'd
not for
probably
me.
I'd probably have to pay like 30 extra dollars a month to get access to that, right?
You know what? 30 extra bucks a month does seem like a great financial windfall for us.
Yep,
But
that's true.
instead, I'm passing the savings back on to everybody else. And I'm eating the $30 and everyone else can for only $3 a month while you're binging all of our episodes of great shows like O's, bad shows like Black Sun, all these other things you can watch. You can just binge it all. You can play Minecraft. You can listen to us talk and ramble. And you can talk to other people at the same time if you want to too. For only $3 a month.
Damn, that sounds like a good, some might say unsustainable deal. Get
so
in
so
now.
before it's truly unsustainable.
Get in on the ground floor.
Get it on the ground floor because this might be as high as the tower goes.
Oh, dude, that reminds me. My
Uh-oh.
my kid who is 5 years old. For everyone out there, my kid got a chain letter the other day.
They still do that?
Yeah, man. But yeah, but it was a chain letter for stickers. So like, it explained that she was supposed to like send a letter to like these two people with stickers inside of it, and then whatever she was supposed to, however the chain system works or whatever. Like you're gonna get letters from other people, you send letters to people. And I was like, this is insane. Like my mom did this when I was a kid and she put dollars in envelopes and she got suckered into a chain letter and never really saw any dollars back. And now my kid's doing it with stickers.
How'd
So
she even get on the
ridiculous.
list? How did she get
How'd you get
how
tied into
did
this?
how yeah, how was
It,
it how was the infection passed on to her?
it's a kid she knows IRL. It's a kid in our neighborhood.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. but like only one of like the so like the people that she was supposed to send it to, I don't think we knew either of them. Yeah, it's very strange. It's all very strange.
Well, I feel like so when the old chain letters, the actual ones that were like, "Hey, give me a send $1 back to the person that sent you the letter, and then forward the letter to 3 more people or something," right? That was how
Yeah,
the
that's
pyramid was built?
yeah. Yeah. So this one she was supposed to give stickers to the kid in our neighborhood, and then I think send the letter on to 2 more people. So then they would
Did
send her 2 stickers, and they
did
would
they
send it to
used to
2 people.
come with the address? 'Cause I feel like I got one before. Did they used to send you the addresses you were supposed to send it to too?
That's how this one worked, and that's my memory of when my mom did it when I was a kid.
See, that's the
Well,
same thing I was thinking. Well, I don't know how you would know the people to tell them who to send it to.
you just have to figure out, I think, like, basically in this case, like 3 people that you wanna be involved, right? You have to say, like, "I want Toby, Josh, and Charlie to be my my." I guess you have to pick then who's on top, like, who's the pyramid of your triangle. You have to set that up, but other than that, I don't know.
I don't
There
remember, and
there
that's gonna
there was
bother me
some
now.
yeah, there was some weird thing too. The one that my mom did when I was a kid was a bit more involved because she definitely had to, like, it was a long much longer list of names that she had to, like, send to and then compile from. So I think there was, like, more specific instructions of, like, which list went where and stuff, but even as a kid when she was doing it, I was like, "This is like, you're getting scammed, mom. What are we doing here?" And she was, and, now the same thing is back, but for stickers for children.
I'm
There's a
glad.
lot of yeah, there's a lot of weird kid stuff that crops up in the world. Like I don't know if you've heard of booing, Toby, but around Halloween time, it's a thing sometimes in neighborhoods where you'll like leave treats on a doorstep for a kid that lives there, and then the instructions with those treats will say to like pass it on to some other kid. And then if you've already gotten the treats, you put up a sign that says "I've been booed," so no one like re-boos you and gives you more treats. And it's this whole convoluted, unnecessary system for kids just to get extra candy at Halloween for no reason. But the fact that this one is an actual, just real chain letter without any of the like extra stuff on top to make it cute, it's like literally just a chain letter. It's so
That's
funny to me.
amazing.
Yeah.
If you wanna join our chain letter, it's only $3 a month, and you send your envelope digitally right to a patreon.com/the comment writers, and then, maybe we'll send you some stuff back.
Yeah, maybe we'll slip you a couple episodes of Boon Boomjer along the way. And who knows? If you invite some friends, you might get special treatment in the Discord server. I don't know.
That you will not. I feel like we have to stop that one. You will get no special treatment. Either do it or you don't. There is no try.
No, I didn't say what kind of special treatment. The special treatment might be like Josh posts a GIF with like sirens or something. I don't know. That it could be something really tiny. Anyway, join the
I
Patreon,
I
everybody.
I I guess the only transition out of that is, speaking of something very tiny, let's talk about Gav.
Got him. Tell me, this is Gav, episode 20 that we're talking about here today. And this is a big episode. This is a pretty pivotal episode. So I didn't write down everything like, scene by scene, but I kind of hit the high points of things we need to talk about here. Of course, we have our 3 main players in play still. We have Shoma, Hanto, and Laga 9. And we formed this kind of like love triangle between the 3 of them. And Hanto's currently out of commission over at Suga's office, healing back up. So Shoma,
Like Wolverine, though.
like
We do
Wolverine,
have
yeah,
we do have to point out that, Hanto now has the maybe not the super strength that Shoma does, but he definitely has some sort of, like, weird healing because Suga even showed you say the names together, it's tough. Suga even showed Shoma, like, "Hey, look, he's almost healed up already. This big bloody patch is just his skin now."
yeah,
So it seems like he's starting to get some of the benefits of getting, Granute surgery.
yeah. He's got the same thing that Shoma has. So apparently, all Grenoots can just heal super quickly. Um, so Shoma heads out, and his mission basically is to sway Laganine over to being a good guy and stop hurting humans. And it's interesting. I think one of my like discussion points I wrote down that I was thinking about watching this episode, like Shoma is worried here about he wants to talk to Laganine again, but he's worried about what Hanto will think. But he's not really worried. Like he thinks he can sway him, But, like, he's not that torn up about the fact that, like, he has potentially killed as many people as he has, right? Like, so the thing I wrote down was, like, is Shoma, like, a little detached from humanity in the same way that, like, Lage 9 is here? Like, Shoma wants to help people, and he wants to keep people from getting hurt, but I feel like there's a little bit of, like, he's just a little detached from humanity still, where like the normal reaction to what's going on is closer to what Hanto is doing. And Shoma's a bit more like, it could be better if he wasn't killing humans, but I'll still try to be his friend.
I think he's just stuck in a weird gap of like he comes from his world of abuse where
He
he's in a
does.
world now like they really got away from it compared to the first episodes. But like the first 3, 4, 5 episodes were basically I made a friend this week and this friend taught me how to be part human.
Yeah, that's
So I
true.
think there's still part of that weird disconnect of like we haven't done that storyline anymore because we're past that. But I think it's still part of his vibe of like it just seems like he'd rather have someone that he knows kills people or like sacrifices people to get killed just on his side of like, yeah, you have killed 100 people, but if I can get you to stop today and we just like don't do this anymore and we go back to the other direction with this,
It'd be
like,
really ideal. Yeah.
yeah, like he's there for the redemption arc. He doesn't care about their past. He just cares about their future.
He
Like a
truly,
good
yeah.
like a good partner would be. If you don't love Loggy Nine as his worst, he'll never love him as best. So yes, he has to help pick up the pieces.
And of course, from a storyline perspective, like Shoma needs, he needs to be the person who's all about redemption because he needs that redemption himself too, right? Like he's a quote unquote member of the Stomach family. He's a Granute, and he needs, in the eyes of Hanto, he needs to be someone who can step out of sort of the circumstances of your upbringing. uh, so he's willing to see that in others, I guess. So he takes his manner of attempting to sway Log 9 is he takes him downtown and he shows him the family of the missing kids, passing out flyers to look for the missing ones. And
he basically runs a Christmas Carol
he
with
does.
Loggy Nine, but instead of like past, present, and future, it's just hey, look at this shit right now because of you, and
Look
just
what
like
you've
the
done.
and it was crazy. Like there's a couple of those weird flashbacks throughout the episode of like, oh, a moment sparked this memory, or I grabbed his arm and he remembered this. But like it was I know it has to be this way for the TV show. So I'm giving it the pass for that reason. But it's hilarious to me that basically like Laganine did so between the movie theater, the old person class, the courtroom, and one more of those big mass wipes. Like you say, it's probably easily like 100, 110 people, 120 people in at this point of like, hey, I made them disappear. Who really gives a shit? He sees these two people struggling around. He sees the guy fall over and go like, "Oh, please help! I fell." And he has a flashback of his little brother getting or him getting knocked over when he was asking for help for his little brother. And that's all it took to completely sway his whole perception on, hey, humans aren't that bad.
Yeah.
But after 120 like unconfirmed kills, basically, it just took like, oh yeah, I was miserable like this too. You had a good idea.
And he didn't, yeah, like not once in all the other people that you abducted did their screams of terror before you injected them with the orgasm juice not sway you. Like, like I don't. He explains. I guess my one note about this whole episode is that he comes over to Shoma's side instantly. Like he takes like 10 seconds looking at the scene that Shoma shows him. He sees that man fall down, it triggers the memory. And then he goes 0 to 60 where he's like, "Yeah, okay. All right, let's go break into Stomach headquarters. Let's do it." He's ready to
it,
go.
it was definitely the easiest sales pitch.
Yeah.
Like we said, like again, it's required for the show, especially because the past couple episodes were kind of like back and forth with like, no, like you don't have to be a piece of shit. Like trust me, and especially because with the crab already pulling the sway or the bullshit on Shoma of no, I'm gonna change, haha,
Yeah.
you stupid asshole. No, I'm not. Like they couldn't do that again I
Yeah,
feel like
true.
this soon or at all. So I guess it had to happen sooner rather than later. But like it's just one of those things where in a 20-minute episode, it was basically, "Hey man, I asked you nicely before, like this is kind of shitty, don't you think?" 5 seconds of reflection. Yeah, man, this is shitty. You know what? Your enemies are my enemies. Let's go back. Let's go save all the people. This is a great idea.
Which, like, I mean, also, I guess from a non-cynical standpoint, I guess that plays into, like, he was a good person all along, and he just didn't understand humans, and he didn't understand the right way to, achieve his goal or whatever. But yeah, the juxtaposition, the about face that he does is so abrupt here. But still, yeah, I do like it. I like him being a good guy. I like the little team up between the two of them. This whole episode, I think it's very fun. Like them on the case, just searching. They're a fun pair. And yeah, they go break into Stomach headquarters, and I really loved the scene of them searching for how to get into the Granute world. First of all, it's very funny. Shoma being like, "Yeah, let's go do it," and then like cut to the next scene. So I don't actually know how to get back. And the whole bit in the toilet was awesome. So they see an agent like create a door, go into what is a toilet, but it's the door into Granute World. And then when they open the toilet door and the toilet lid just raises up, I was like, all right, this is great. this is this is good
Just
comedy.
a lot of so
That perfect
not
like
only was it good
Japanese like auto
comedy,
raising toilet. Yeah.
yes. So I laughed not to compare it to the greatest media of all time, Kingdom Hearts, but to compare it to my other favorite thing. In a bunch of the old first run Yakuza games, there used to be like the secret illegal gambling den was called Purgatory. And the way to get to Purgatory was there was a bathroom stall next to like the construction site. And only if you went through like the third door in the bathroom was where the staircase was for like a huge fancy like gambling cabaret club, like purgatory, like hell gambling place kind of thing.
That's
So I was
awesome.
laughing hysterically because I was like, "This is such a nod to that, even though it's not." But like in my personal like little headcanon, I was like, "This is amazing. This is like a so fun like Yakuza thing for me."
Totally. And of course, this is the first like foreshadowing for Lage 9 that Shoma is a stomach member because he's able to actually create the doorway into Granite World where Lage 9 is not. So they make it
With his
in
little random, I got
his little random like holding his hand out.
yeah, because like they see the agent hold their hand out to the stall door while it's closed, like this little eyeball logo. I guess it kind of looks like whatever the stomach family's logo is. Shows up on the door, walks in, the door closes, and he vanishes. So Loggy Nine holds his hand by the door, nothing happens. They both kind of look at Loggy Nine's hand and like shrug, and like they're talking about like, oh, I guess we can't follow him this way. And Shoma gets like this weird like childlike look at his hand, and just kind of holds it by the door, and of course it comes to life. But like his like sheer enjoyment of like, wow, look, it works was like just
That's
classic
good.
Shoma.
Yeah. And also like classic Shoma just like stumbling into like things working out for him too. Like, he's the guy who like passed out on the side of the road and like found a wonderful, nice old couple to take him in. Like this guy fails upwards for sure. I do want to intersperse some of the details. We have got an email this week from Shade, and he's got some details about various scenes. So I do want to cut in with some of the fun details here. So the bathroom stall scene from the producer's blog this week, Shade shares with us that, quote, just like the door system, the automatic toilet sensor activates in unexpected places. There was a great explosion of tension, release, and fake laughter, as expected from the director. By the way, the opening and closing is not automatic, but is remotely controlled by the assistant director. Perfect
Hell
timing.
yeah, good job, AD.
And then Shade sends us a Rick and Morty meme where it's the robot saying like what is my purpose. It's that one, but it's the assistant director saying what is my purpose. Like you open the toilet on cue. Like oh my god. So that's pretty great. But they get through the toilet door, and then we have this thing where they're in the Granute world, but it's in the crazy MC Escher painting version where there's just a bunch of doors and a bunch of stairways, and they just start opening doors. And I
See, I
loved this part.
y I was gonna say, so did I. A I guess a trope of sorts is whenever they do, like, the montages in anything of, "Hey, there's 20 doors here, and one must be the right answer. Let's just burn through them all real quick." And do, like, the rapid fire open closing, and, of
Yeah.
course, like, usually each room is more absurd than the last. For whatever reason, like, that always just makes me laugh. So I was stoked they got to do it today too.
Yeah, it's such a perfect classic, like, visual gag bit, that you can do, and it fits so perfectly here. And, like, it's a fun piece of world building too, that you realize just how connected the Granute world is to the human world. Because like, they open one door and it's, like, some random supply closet somewhere, who knows what building it's in, and they open another door and it's, like, right in the middle of some, like, office. And, like, clearly you get the sense from this that, like, oh my god, these doors are, like, all over the place, every random building you could imagine. You could have these agents coming in and out of, and these, the Granutes coming in and out of. Like, it really gives the sense of, like, oh, we are potentially, like, invadable from
At
any
any time.
juncture. Yeah. So that was very cool. I liked that for sure. The producer's blog shade shares does have some fun pictures of the kind of in between area where the doors are at, and like obviously that it's CG when you're watching it, but seeing just like literally a doorway and then a CG room other than that is still pretty funny looking. Like that's all that's there is they just put the physical door and the two actors and then it's all green screen from that point on. Um, the door room Shade tells us um comes from the pilot director. Sugahara is his name. A pilot director, Shade tells us, is someone who directed the pilot episode, which also like really defines a lot of the look and feel for the show. So that kind of doorway area came from the pilot and came from him. So he now is back today, partly I think because of the doorway room being a bigger role. So kind of cool he got to come back and direct the episode where that shows its head again.
Isn't pilot director also Jason Lee's kid?
Probably. I don't know. Is that his name?
It's like pilot inspector, inspector pilot, one of those.
That's terrible. So someone should stop celebrities. Um so while we're exploring this facility, once we finally make it into the facility, Showman knows where he's going. He leads them downstairs. And again, there's another hint there that he knows a little bit more than Lage 9 does. And in the middle of them hunting for the kind of factory area, Shoma has this weird, like, painful memory burst of Hanto's mom, which is going to be fun to find out what that connection is.
I mean, they even alluded to it because it was when Laganine grabbed his arm so he
Yeah.
wouldn't get busted by it was either agents or at some point they find Glada. So one of the two of them, like they're about to turn a corner, almost got busted. Shoma gets grabbed by the arm to like not get caught or seen or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, like he sees, he thinks about it. He's like, wait, is that Hanto's mom? And at that point, more so than it, this whole episode was basically like Shoma cheating on Hanto with his new partner.
A little bit,
And
yeah.
when I saw that part, I was like, oh shit, like Laga 9 both killed Hanto's mom and he's dating Shoma now. So it this episode really just set up, wow, like Shoma really bailed on Hanto as the human and just like, oh, I'm gonna leave my buddy behind because my new friend is way more powerful. My new friend can get me way into way better clubs, can have like have nicer dinners, all these things. And so like there was a lot of good. Shoma's new friend is like the only thing he's focused on this episode, and that was like a nice little quick dagger of, oh shit, this is definitely gonna turn into something at some point.
Yeah. Yeah, that really adds to the betrayal at the end here. It's like, "You with him?" Is sort of the vibe. I think the factory, I think the whole stomach facility looks really awesome, and then specifically when they get down into the factory, I think it looks cool. They really set up some, like, convincing looking factory machines and conveyor belts and stuff. Like, I like the whole vibe down there.
Yeah, I was laughing at the way I guess, like, their computer consoles or, like, the consoles of, like, the little TVs and the fake buttons of, like, "Oh, yeah, press here to start this line," and all kinda shit. I was laughing because I was like, "This looks so legit for, like, in a crappy '80s movie of, 'Hey, look at these computers. We're gonna pretend we work in NASA. This is cool, fancy technology.'" But the computers, like, the first computers look kinda crappy to me, but the rest of the rooms itself looked like an actual factory. So, like you said, they did a really good job with making it seem like, no, like, they could actually be making things here. This
Yeah.
seems like a real, like, plant of human candy making, I guess.
Yeah, once we were in the places where they were actually gonna be, like, shooting choreography in, so, like, that first hallway and then down in the factory, then it became good looking. But before they get there, it's like, "Okay, a little too much CG. Yeah, this isn't amazing." And of course, when they're down in the factory is when we get our confrontation, our fight with Glotta.
She's back.
She's back. I really loved the initial interaction here with her. She walks up and she's, like, dragging her weapon, and the you normally don't get that much of a sense of, like, the weight of the weapons in a show like this because, they're just made out of plastic. So, the fact that they, like, went out of their way to make it seem like her little scythe thing was, like, super heavy, I thought was a really nice touch.
I thought that was cool, and I actually was like, I thought it was fun that um, her first entry into the scene too, was that she broke part of their factory.
Yeah.
Like, she does, like, the scythe slash, she cuts one of the machines in half, and I was more impressed at, like, oh, like, even if they can't find the people they wanna find in the wrapped candy form, at least they might have, like, slowed down production for a day. Like, they literally just they cut the machine in half.
That's true.
You can't process people like that.
I mean, it was like, they did show up in the factory was also, like, not running at the time, so clearly, like, production's not 24/7 here. Maybe it's, like, limited supply of people who are willing to run it, but,
Well, I mean,
I
like,
thought
I mean, as we know, like, they made a bunch of points up to this point of, "Hey, like, actually need, like, better samples from everyone. You're bringing us back to crappy humans, we can't make good candy out of this." So it would kinda make sense of, "Hey, the machine's not running today because we don't have
oh,
any
yeah,
more
'cause
wrapped people to, run through the thing."
you guys have sucked at getting us the good people, yeah, so we're just yeah, we don't have the fodder. I Glotta's awesome. I love that she just shot first here, like, you don't even see her, and she just, like, fires a shot at them, and they, like, barely dodge it. Like, that's such a cool entrance, where, like, a lot of characters, when you, like, swoop in and say something, like, no, she's just gonna shoot first, yeah. And her whole, I guess her whole interaction with Login 9 is also very cool because she's like, "Oh, I suspect since you're here with Gav that you've turned traitor,"
And
which is
again,
just
like,
such a cool way to present that.
it was, and again, it just ties to the whole thing of this episode of how fast the romance flourished from the first moment,
Very true.
because
Yeah.
out of nowhere, like, they were enemies you pressed until you started watching the show today. They were enemies, but he had that, Vran Flan, whatever his name is, Laganine. He like, they were basically kind of enemies still before you watched today's episode. By, like, 3/4 through, the head of the evil group was like, "Hey, you fucking traitor, I see you're here now." Like, in a 15-minute span, he went from, "Yeah, I don't know about Shoma, people still kinda suck too," instantly tagged as, like, one of the worst people against the bad company by the bad
he
company.
he even takes this opportunity to, like, give a very, like, unequivocal speech, like, "I would never join join up with the Stomach family," like, he has a big, like, "No, I've always been good," kind of a vibe, and it's like, "Bro, you weren't good, like, 10 minutes ago."
"I never ate that shit. Are you
Yeah,
fucking kidding me?"
that's what it is, yeah, she talks about dark confections, and he was like, "I would never." Like, "No, you would just murder humans for it," but whatever. Who's counting? There also is a really awesome moment where, he obviously comes at her and is like, "You murdered my brother," and he's like, "My brother Kamal," and she's like, Who?" I love in movies and shows and stuff when villains get to do that. Be like, that name means nothing to me. I know that it's everything to you, and it means nothing to me. Such a good burn. And then, of course, they break into the real world in the middle of this fight. They're on stage at a concert, which is kind of a cool little venue.
I went through it twice just to see if I recognized who was concerting or if there's any like logos or anything around the venue, and there wasn't, which was kind of a downer because I was hoping for like either like a random thing of like they had two of the Exile from Fantastics or whoever does
Uh-huh.
the intro song. I was hoping for them. When I saw the two people, I was like, "Oh, they got back on the show," but that wasn't a thing. I was hoping for like some visual recognition of people I know, but that was not the case.
Yeah, I wonder. We'll just see if we can figure out who they are because I was wondering if you would know them as well.
I did not.
Shade in the email has some information about that scene. From the producer's blog, they say that the door leads anywhere, which gives us a lot of freedom in finding a location. And since filming took place during a hot period, we decided on a live music venue where we could do the action indoors and where it would be visible to the public. As we had some cooperation like last time, we had the support of members of the Toei Tokusatsu fan club who cooperated as extras in the live music venue this time. So they brought back some of the TTFC members again, which is cool. I love that they continually use their fan club members as extras. That's really neat.
Yeah, I was gonna say like in the past couple seasons, this is the most I remember hearing that was even a thing. But I feel like this has been two or three times now. Like last week's big scene in the school thing was also that same way. And
And
like
the there was
imagine
that
like
scene. There was that scene before it where Longo comes to Earth, and he's like wading through the crowd. Do you remember that? That
oh
crowd
yeah,
was all TTFC people.
but like I can't think of anything in the States, let alone most places, where they're so quick, I guess we'll call it, to be like, hey, like you're part of the fan club. Guess what? You're in the show now. Just tell us
Yeah.
you're free that day. Like I know there's a bunch of bands that will still like throw tweets out or
Uh,
whatever and be like, hey, if you want to be an extra for a music video shoot, hit us up. We'll try to get you over here, blah, blah, blah. But this just
yeah,
seems
that
like
was the
way
one
more
example I was gonna
intense.
bring up is like, yeah. I definitely heard stories about that when I was younger. Like, I know one of those Sum 41 videos had a bunch of like extras, and it was kind of put out the same way of just like the call went out for fans, like, hey, if you want to be in our music video, show up at this place. Um, but yeah, that's like the only thing that even remotely is close to that for us in the States, and that rarely happens.
Yeah.
The producer's blog says the filming took place quite some time before the broadcast, so I'm sure everyone was surprised to see Vram there. So that's probably the source of a leak, but also if you're a member, like again, if you're a member of the fan club, you show up and then you get to see like this like unannounced writer on screen. You're like, what is this? What a fun day. And of course, during this fight as well, we get a new Vram power up. So we see Nielv give him a new pudding cup earlier in the episode,
It looks
and then he
strawberry
finally he finally breaks it out.
or
Yeah,
maybe
it's I was trying to
raspberry.
figure out more about it. It's like its defining characteristic is that it's jelly, instead of pudding. I guess is it says jelly when you bust it
Do
open,
anything.
but it's pink. Yeah. It's all pink. I think it looks cool. I'm into the look of it.
I
I'm
think
excited to
the
see
pink
more
one,
of it in future episodes.
yeah, like the pink one I think looks better than the plain pudding cup one. And the abilities that he seems to have in his new form seem way more fun than the old form. Like he basically can like cloak himself constantly. But there was the cool part of it where when he henshined the first time with it, we got to see like the Geet's barbed wire like digitally wrap around his heart and like grab it.
Yeah.
And before he grabbed his chest, like, oh shit, this hurts. I was like, wow, this is awesome. Like, it's so tied to him that's like gonna power his heart up or like do something like crazy like that. But it seems like it's going to be one of those things where using it hurts him or slowly kills him or God only knows what.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting what the details there are because yeah, that was a weird scene because yeah, it looked like it was like is this just going to be like the visual representation of these powers that they go around his heart? But then he actually like physically reacts to them and even says like, "Oh, that wasn't good" or something like that.
That like or
s-
like that didn't feel right or oh what just happened there or
yeah,
something along
yeah.
those lines. Yeah.
So then you're like, "Oh, like is this going to be a plot point that his powers are like literally freezing his heart or like, doing something weird to him?" So, there's a lot of little threads that they're planting here as we
Oh
as
yeah.
we go along.
As they always do. That's
They
their
do.
favorite little game to play.
But I do really like I like the look of that power up. Very, very cool. And then of course, someone else gets a little bit of a power up too in this fight. We get to see the like full Granute form of Glotta. So she gets to have her little henshin belt thing. She gets to pull out her little key thing and go full Granute. She goes like full Granute IRL like in the real world and freaks out an entire music venue basically because of it. So, what are your thoughts on Gladys' form here?
I'm glad she had to come back. Barring all the dumb jokes I always make, she does seem very cool. I think she's the one thing I did pick up or noticed or remembered or from all of our other conversations. At one point, I was trying to figure out if her and the older guy were like his mom and dad, or if the other guy was the dad, or all just family or whatever. But she specifically says, "Oh yeah, like you're my shitty little brother." So at least confirm that Glada is just a sister and not mom or like stepmom, I guess, because obviously we know who his real mom is. But it was cool to see her like go full ass kicking again. Her outfit is very octopus squiddy like in nature. I feel like with all the little sucker looking things on it.
Yeah,
So I think
very
it's a
much
very
so. Yeah,
it's a cool look for her. I think.
yeah, I really like the look a lot. Reminds me of some of the like there's a character in Shinkinger. Let me see if I can look her name up. This is not going to be worth it when I actually figure out her name if I do. But there's a like female character that pairs with the main bad guy in Shinkinger, and she like vaguely reminded me of her because those characters are like also a little aquatic um in their nature.
Gotcha.
But she looks cool. Yeah, I think she looks really fun, and she has that like uh that classic toku look kind of where it's like clearly it's all fake but like it looks cool and stylish and I dig it. um Shay did have some details about her in the email. um she is the motif of her monster form is the kraken, a sea monster from Scandinavian
There you
legend.
go.
Like Jeep and Sheeta's Hati and Score, this character has Scandinavian roots. The design was also very particular, and to match the tall stature of Chitose, who plays the human form, two types of shoes were made. One with a high sole for close ups, and one for action scenes that are easy to move in.
Always with the feet with her. Now we have to go back to it right away.
That's true. That's true. And yeah, the Vram power up is called Puru Jelly Gochizu. So it is a jelly, like a pure jelly.
I guess that's to it does I guess tie him more to Shoma and Gav then, since they both have jelly forms now.
Oh,
I
and
mean, I
then
get
Shade also says here, yeah, so it does. You're right, it does. But it also because jellyfish, he's like kind of a jellyfish sort of a
oh,
guy with
alright,
his barbs and stuff too.
okay,
Yeah.
alright.
um, and yeah, his whole we didn't even say like yeah his power, the thing that hurts his heart. Did we say it makes him invisible? That's like his like extra power that he gets. I don't know if we actually
Okay.
said that out loud or not, but that is interesting. So that's kind of through the fight with Glotta. That's the power up with Glotta. That's Vram's power up, and then of course that leads us to the big, huge, like, pivotal moment in this episode, and that
The
is
end
the
of the fight, so to speak.
exactly. Hanto is, healed from his wounds, and he's out hunting where Shoma's out trying to find him, and he happens upon the scene, and his first thoughts are like, "Wait, Shoma is, like, teaming up with Vraham? Like, what's he doing?" And then he
It's a good thing
overhears
real before you say it, it's a good thing he has his Twitter feed set for, like, again, "Hey, what kind of monster fights are going on?" Because he was basically, like, home to use the horrible relationship analogy once more. It's basically like he's homesick. His partner said, "Oh, like, I'll be over later. I just gotta finish up some work real quick. Like, don't worry. I'll bring you soup." So Hanto's sitting at home, doom scrolling through fucking Twitter, waiting for his soup, and he's like, "Wait, why is my person tweeting, 'Hey, I'm at a concert. What's going on here?
that
I don't
bitch in the
feel
club. What are we
yeah,
doing here?
I don't feel that sick. I'm gonna go to the concert real quick. I'm gonna catch this. I'm gonna see what this cheating fuck's doing. I'm gonna see what's going on here." So he strolls up and he's like, "Wait, he wasn't looking for so and so. He's with this other person that looks exactly like him with his same exact. He has the same likes and dislikes. They both have cool armor. They can transform with food. This seems kind of fucked up." And they can tell your story.
So he's thinking all these things initially, like, this is like, it feels like cheating. I don't know what we're doing
He's
here.
specifically thinking these things. Producer's blog or not, I want you all to know he is specifically thinking, "Why is my boy out there with this other guy?"
Oh, yeah, it is a love triangle through and through. And he overhears Glada reference, basically that Shoma is her brother, is her little brother. And what a beautifully orchestrated moment this is, because, of course, it lights a fire under Hanto's ass because he's like, "You're a fucking Granute," and he charges down, and the big ending is him punching Shoma. So obviously Hanto's very mad. We knew that was going to happen. We knew that big blow was going to happen. But they also managed to make it so that Vraham felt betrayed too. And I think that's awesome. Like, we got them close enough through the course of like 1.5 episodes here that Shoma had also lied to Vraham and had not told him the full story. So he's like, "Wait, you're a stomach member?" And I love that she could say one thing and she could betray Shoma to two different people for two different reasons. That's really, really, really good writing.
It,
um,
it, it's like you said, amazing writing, and it's actually really good because of all the ways that we joked about. Like, hey, when he drops the secret, like they keep adding these little pieces where Hato might get extra mad or understand a little bit more, or have this issue with it, or have this issue with it, whatever. Nowhere on my bingo card of breakup tales was Glada comes back out of nowhere and just like pipe bombs the room and just walks away.
yeah, it's such a good reveal here because for episodes now, he's been sort of like, "Ugh, I should tell Honto. I feel really bad that Honto doesn't know. I need to find a
how
way to
how do I
tell him."
tell him? What do I do with this?
And then, yeah, Glada just blows it up in his face. And then, yeah, also takes out a potential new friend at the same time. Like, maybe. I'm really interested to see in the next episode, like, where the allegiances fall or if everyone hates Shoma. um, because it could be really cool if it's just like three people all hating each other, all fighting each other for a little bit. Um, but yeah,
I think
Honto for sure is gonna hate Shoma.
I think that'll be cool. And then like, so with that, I forget, and if you don't remember, it's okay. Did Shoma actually find Chica's friend? Like they got all the
Yes,
they got all the
yes,
things back. Like they grabbed him. I know he loaded up the briefcase with the people. So basically, what's going to happen next week is obviously her friend's going to come back. I feel like Shoma's going to be a mopey ass for a while, and then obviously Sachika's going to be like, "Oh, are you two having issues again? Like, did you have another fight? Like, what's going on?" So I feel like she's going to have to be the glue that holds them together. I don't know how. I don't know how with like plain human words she can fix what their specific fight is because it's so like outside of the realm of what she knows right now. And even if he's like, "Oh yeah, we had a fight because I said I was from Japan and I'm really not from Japan, I'm from someplace else." Like, she can't get close to that actual issue without knowing the issue. I don't know if they're gonna do that.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see if they navigate that or if she finds out or what how that works out. Um, Hanto's really good at his angry face as well in this. He's very believably very upset here. Um, if we cut back to Shade's email again, Shade opens the email with "Hello everybody and welcome back. I hope you guys are prepared for what we've been building up to. Shoma and Hanto's bitter breakup. Don't you just hate it when your boyfriend does a little racism?" I also really like too that like this is, you know, it is Hanto sort of blindly deciding that all Granoots are bad. So like, he's not in the right here. Obviously, we shouldn't paint with that wide of a brush. But I love that Shoma is definitely in the wrong. Like Shoma's had multiple opportunities to confess all this to Hanto and hasn't done it. So I love that it's not just a, you know, this is all a big misunderstanding thing. I like that Shoma has some fault involved.
Yeah, like,
But
it's def he he truly, like, made this bed of half truths and trickle truthing and all the things, and if he just would have pulled the trigger on this a while ago, it probably wouldn't have played out this way, as we know.
yeah. How do you feel about the length of time that they sort of teased this breakup coming? Like sort of knowing that they were at odds and then that kind of building. How do you feel about that pacing?
I mean, other than the fact that we said a bunch of times, "It needs to be next week," or at least I have been saying for a while, "It needs to be next week, it needs to be next week." I think the fact they did a real good Band-Aid pull this week of
Yeah.
like, "Hey, it's over now." And again, the fact that it came from a surprise source, like, of all this, I assumed Shoma would be I assumed, like, in my mind, I assumed Shoma would just tell him the truth at some point, or it would have came out in a different way, again, than, like, his bitchy sister, I guess, being like, "Hey, by the way, my brother's, like, fucking around on you." Just so you know. Like, I would've just assumed it played out different,
Me too.
but like you said, there's it all makes sense of why Hanta's so mad because, again, like, he didn't hear from his quote unquote "best friend" that's watched people die with him and everything else, like, "Hey, I'm kinda one of these people, and I know you hate them all, but, maybe we can talk about this first." Instead, it was just, like, the punch in the face that turned into a punch in the face of literally just like, "Yeah, just so you know, those things you hate, he's definitely one of them, and he's been lying to you this entire time."
Yeah, for sure. I haven't really had too much of a complaint with like the story of the show overall. I think it's been really, really good. But I think this stuff, the like the Honto betrayal storyline buildup, I think has been like pretty perfect. Like I think they let it simmer just long enough where you really were like, "Oh my god, this has to come out next episode." And they gave us like 1 or 2 more episodes past that point, which I think was really good. It was like, "Oh, maybe it won't. Who knows what's going to happen here?" And they really let it like brew over the top. And then yeah, to kind of blow it up, we talked about in this kind of like perfect way is just really impressive writing, really kind of a master stroke here. So
I
yeah,
mean,
I think the whole show is good, but I think this was really, really well done.
like, of the main credit I feel like we've given this show almost the entire season is they had a plan and they just fucking went for it.
Yeah, totally.
And we made the joke about Boon Boomjer for a long time of like, wow, there's no bad episodes. Like nothing goes wrong in the show. They have this all figured out. And then Boon Boomjer kind of went off a cliff that still like creeps back up and down from here and there. But we're basically halfway through Gav ballpark. And like the biggest plot point of it, they just hammered home in the best way possible in a way that they set up for the past 5.5 months now. And there was no, it was just perfect. Like
Yeah.
they crafted the story in such a way where there's been no weird loose ends or no like real off episodes for 5 months. And they're like, hey, here's this huge bomb. Watch how fucking perfect we drop this.
Totally, yeah. Like, Boon Boom Shirt was so good for so long, but, like, on the back of, like, every episode was different, and every episode was, like, good because of the standalone episode that they were crafting, right? Like it was ridiculous and it was funny or it was silly or it was poignant, but not necessarily like the overall storyline. 'Cause that's not as much how Sentai works all the time, but especially not this one, right? And it just so happened that like, man, every one of these episodes is like fairly standalone, but also really good. And it's funny, Bunmujer has kind of like taken a bit of a dip for me as they are getting to storyline that is continued week to week. So as they're trying to wrap the show up and they start to introduce a lot of this like backstabby, everybody's against the Boon Boomers type of story is where it's like, man, this used to be a lot more fun. So it's kind of the reverse problem there where they're trying to add a little bit more story to it. And it's not what I want from that show. It's not working as well for me. But yeah, that is quite the episode for Gav there. So let's finish out Shade's email. We've definitely picked out most of the pieces of it, but there is some news at the top that Shade shares with us that I want to touch on, especially since we're talking about Sentai there. Because Shade has some big Sentai announcements in all caps here.
Ooh.
You out there may have heard about this, but the press conference for number one Sentai Goes has just happened this past week, and we got everything from the cast reveal to the trailers. So there is a subbed trailer that you can go out there and find now. During this press conference, there was even a small stage show performance that starred some of the past Red Rangers in voice only, and they even got the full 50 Red Rangers out for a photo shoot, which looks awesome. Like every Red Ranger kind of like in a big line doing a big family photo with the new Goes Red right up front. I guess the whole Goes team up front. Very cool looking. Like and really exciting. It gets me pretty excited for the show to see it. And They announced as well, Shade tells us, that there's going to be an episode 0 prologue of Goes. It's coming out on the same day as Gav episode 21, so next week, and the same day as Boon Boomers finale. So
Wait, Boom
that
Boomers
is
is over next week?
apparently, right? Yeah, because we're at episode. Let's see, what did we watch this week? We watched episode, or we're going to
We're gonna
watch
watch
this week.
46.
Yeah, so then I
Oh
think
yeah, I guess that makes sense.
it does. Yeah, time
Man,
flies when you're booming.
not even that then. So we're I guess to go off the trail a little bit. With I feel like there's not enough Boon Boomer left to finish that story in a way I'm gonna like it. Like the
Yeah,
world hates them, and now I find out there's only like 2 episodes left. Like if we knew that before, I forgot about it. But now that I'm thinking about the last episode, that's basically, hey, the world hates us. Everything's going to shit. We need one final plan. I really don't feel like there's enough time left to pull this off anywhere.
it'll be interesting to see if they can stick a landing. Because like, yeah, this whole like the world's against them. The ISA people are against them. They're all bad. They're working with Spender stuff. Blue is bad. Like, is he good? Is he bad? Stuff hasn't been as much fun for me. And it's like it'll be interesting to see if they can make me feel good about that whole twist and stuff, or what. I don't know. But yeah, they have 2 episodes here to stick the landing, I guess.
That'll be interesting. That's
Yeah.
more interesting than some other shit going on. So
I'll make you watch this, or maybe you and I can watch this trailer together after this, and we can see what we think about our first look at Goes. All right, Toby, I think that's gonna wrap us up for this week. Any other final thoughts?
no, Showman got what he deserved. That's why if you want to break up with somebody, you just break up with them. You don't
Yeah,
play these little
that's what you get.
games and have a secret second. You just do the right thing. You say, listen, you're not full of granite like he is. He's jelly like me. My marshmallows go in his pudding deliciously, and just gotta be honest sometimes.
Shoma's coming home and Hanto's being like, "Let me smell yo dick."
What the hell does the matter with you? Now end the episode. Do the thing.
Toby, where can the people find you on the internet?
On Twitter, it's at Life of Tobes. On YouTube, it's Tobes Plays. And on the most important site of all, it is Tobes Plays on Retro Achievements, where I have now cracked into the top 5% of nerd retro gamers on that site.
Woo! Congratulations. Well done. For me, you can find me on Blue Sky. That's really the only social media I'm keeping up with. I am at meek.lol over on Blue Sky. You can also follow the comment writers on Blue Sky at commonwritersucks.com. That's our handle over there. Of course, please subscribe to the comment writers on YouTube. You can find that at youtube.com/prettydeece. Any subscribing you do, any commenting you do, any reviewing you do, any telling of your friends that you do helps the show out. And yeah, the more the merrier. And I can neither confirm nor deny special treatment in the Discord if and when you do those things.
There you go.
And if you want access in the Discord and you want access to the Minecraft server and you want access to all of our bonus content, then do please check out the Patreon, patreon.com/the comment writers. All right, so that is going to wrap us up for this week. We'll be back next time to talk about probably a lot of things because it's going to be a busy week, it sounds like, next week. But we hope you join us back for that fun. And until then, have a great week, everybody. Peace.